Good morning, everyone. It's Trader Rob. Today is Tuesday, August 25th. Hopefully everybody's having a fantastic start to your morning. Ghost Knight, good morning. Amrish, good morning. Paul, good morning. Barrett, morning. Steve, good morning. All right, let's get off to a fantastic start here. Had a mixed bag yesterday trading. I'll kind of go over some of my trades from yesterday. A few of the setups that I gave you guys yesterday ended up working out like a charm. Ended up taking a loser on one of my signals in my signal group. So we'll kind of go over all of those. We've got a Lucid 25K giveaway for this morning. For one of the loyal viewers here, all you got to do is type in the code show up. Type that into the chat here on YouTube, and we'll get you entered into the giveaway. We'll do the giveaway here a little bit past 7:30 this morning. And let me just take a look and see what Lucid account I have available. I know it's a 25K, but I think there's a Flex and then there's a Pro. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look. All right, I got a Lucid Pro up for grabs today. So I got a 25K Lucid Pro. As you guys know, I am super pumped on the 25K programs with the prop firms. I know that the industry standard, everybody's always going for the 50K, the 100K accounts, but I really do feel like these 25K accounts are absolute sleepers in the industry, especially if you're trading like smaller position size, guys. These 25Ks will be really good for you guys. Now, I have kind of gone over why I think the Tradeify 25K plans are really good, especially the instant funded side of their accounts. You know, I think there's a little bit more upfront cost in those 25K instant fundeds. But we've gone over the math several times. I've presented the math to you guys. They really do make sense compared to the typical 50K eval that you might be spending $100 to $120, maybe a little bit more once it's all said and done, which includes the initial purchase, the activation. You then have to go for $3,000 to get funded, and then you have to typically go for another $3,000 to $3,500 to actually take a payout. Now the payout is going to be bigger. It can be anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000, depending on the firm. So definitely the payout's going to be bigger on the 50K, and it should be. It's double the equity. It's double the drawdown. What's really the number that you're supposed to be looking at is the drawdown number. But on these 25Ks, you know, obviously the profit target is much less. So we're going for a $1,500 profit target. And then you've got to make $1,500 to actually take home an actual payout. So the beauty of that is that by the time you've already passed that $3,000 challenge on the eval, you're already damn close to a $1,000 payout on the 25K account. So it's just changing the mentality a little bit. I think people are always super pumped on these huge payouts. But in reality, if you really take a look at your actual payouts and your funding and what you've taken out of funded accounts, I mean, just you kind of sometimes have to just take a look at the numbers and see, all right, my first goal is getting a payout. And if that first goal is to get a payout, what's my easiest, least resistance path to get to that payout? And I'm telling you, that's going to be the 25K. And don't come at me with there's only $1,000 of drawdown. I understand. But if there's $2,000 of drawdown on the 50K account and there's 1,000, that means it's 50%. Well, the profit target's less. It's actually much less than the 50K when you really do the math. But you just drop your position size down, and it's the exact same account. It's the exact same account. Now, if you want to continue trading super aggressive, you want to trade with an E-mini, you know, unless you're going for 10 point scalps and you're doing one of them a day, then it's definitely not going to be the position size that you're looking for. Shit, I mean, it would be a little bit difficult even on the 50K, unless, again, you're going for these 10, maximum 15 point scalps. And when I say 10 or 15 points, I'm talking about stop loss. Your take profit, if you've got something that's going 1 to 1.5, 1 to 2, awesome. But if you're going 1 to 1, I'm mainly concerned with the actual drawdown portion of it. So Barrett asks, what's your micro sizing on the 25K? Great question. My half position size is two micro contracts. If I am trading with my bias of the morning, which again is also a slight change that's kind of been occurring in my trading strategy, is really looking at the overall bias. Now, in theory, I am a quote unquote counter trend trader. I like to play reversals. I like to play trapped buyers and sellers. In fact, my next video that's going to drop either on Friday or on Monday of this week, guys, is going to be, I think, a economic calendar. We got ADP coming up, I know, in about 5 minutes. Thank you for that little reminder. I do love that. It's very subtle, but it's very nice to pop up right there. Where was I? What was I getting at? Position sizing. Oh, I'm sorry, my bias. So in theory, I am a counter trend trader. I also have a setup for continuation. So I am, again, very big on finding unbalanced volume, seeing reactions from that unbalanced volume, and finding absorption, finding trapped buyers and sellers. That's really where my entire trading strategy is built from. In fact, yesterday, I took a really nice trade with my signal group. We stayed patient. I think it was right around 10:55 in the morning. So, besides the one signal that I took yesterday that was a loser, I found an area of unbalanced volume. It was the same volume band that I gave you guys yesterday at the top of the band, and waited for a sign of trapped buyers. So we were in a downtrend. We were in a confirmed downtrend. The bulls made a strong run there at about 10 a.m. in the morning. They made a pretty strong run. And I clearly said, in fact, I made a video of it, posted that video in my signal group. And, for the people that were not in the live trading room, I said, listen, it just tapped into unbalanced volume here from sellers. We know that the buyers have been making a strong push, but we're still overall short bias, and ended up taking a short for about $200. And it was on, I believe at that time, 4 micros, because I was trading with the trend. So if I'm going to take a counter trend trade, this is just part of my evolution as trading. I try to be as transparent with you guys as possible. And if I'm going to be counter trending against the overall trend, I'm going in with 2 micros. And if I am trading with the trend, then I'm going to be going my full position size, which is 4 micros. Okay. Now, to answer fully with full transparency, that is, I am talking about, on Barrett's question on what is my micro sizing on the 25K, I am talking about how I trade this cash account that you guys see every single Friday, which is my live Iron Beam account. The balance is currently at about $5,200 on that. So based on the position size and the risking in that portfolio, that allows me the 2 for half contract and 4 for the full contract. Okay. Now on a 25K, I think the sweet spot for that would be 2 micros, 2 to 3 maximum micros on the 25K. Really, your goal should be, and I've given you guys the math. If you guys can get to either the $200 a day mark or the $150 a day mark, fantastic. If you want to be aggressive on it, give yourself 5 trades with a maximum of $200 of drawdown on each trade. That will give you your $1,000 of drawdown. You got to be wrong 5 times in a row. You want to be a little bit more, that might be the 4 micro contract scenario. If you want to be more conservative and you want to give yourself 10 losing trades, then go down to 2 micros, $100 of max loss per day. You can even lock yourself out of your platform once you hit $100 of max drawdown. Then guys, you need to be wrong 10 times in a row to blow that account. Now, is it going to take you a little longer for a payout? Yeah, but take a look at your checking account and you let me know when your last payout was, and you let me know if $1,000 payout would it be a nice change of pace for you. So everybody's eye on their prize is always on that 50K account. I feel pretty strongly about these 25Ks. I think that there's a good place in the trading industry as retail traders, as you know, maybe small account. And if your ultimate goal is to fund an account, a live account, like how I trade here every morning, so that you don't have the rules, you could take a payout whenever you want. Use those as a funding option. It's the best way to go. You know, it's really the best way to go. I know that, and I want to just maybe retrace one thing that I just said there. Let me just see what let's see what these ADP numbers just came out at. So actual is 11.75. I don't know. I didn't really, doesn't see a forecast there. So we'll see when it updates here on my, when it updates here on my screen, I'll let you guys know. So I just want to retrace one more thing. And I promise, guys, we're going to get into the levels. We're going to get into the setups here. But I really think that this is kind of an important topic to talk about. What I just mentioned about trying to fund your own live account. I just want to maybe retrace a few things. The most important first step in the funded process is a return on investment. Okay, so you really have to take a look at your total cost in versus your total revenue out. And before you think about funding your live cash account, what I'd rather see you do is actually take those first payout. It might be multiple payouts that you need to get yourself to a pretty flat return on investment. Okay, I am currently in a negative ROI on Apex accounts, and the reason is I have not taken an Apex payout. I mean, it's pretty insane for me to say it based on all of my P&L, but I have had periods of, and I think all traders kind of get trapped in this, and this is just me being real with you guys. Every trader gets trapped into this. The strategy, you know, you start off small position size. Maybe you're on 2 or 3 micros, 4 micros. Everything's going great. You're seeing your P&L increasing daily, weekly. You get to the end of the month and you might be up $1,500. Fantastic. What's the next thought that comes into your head? All right, let me just position size up just a little bit more. And you guys have heard me do this. You guys have seen me do this on the live streams, especially when I was trading with you guys Monday through Friday. Every single day I was trading with you guys on the entire session. You would hear me say, I've made the decision to increase my position size. And what happens when you do that? What's the magical thing that always happens? You go on a losing streak. It's like clockwork. It happens every single time. And I am a strong believer of things that are above us. And I think it's really the market testing you to say, oh yeah, you think you've got this figured out? You think you're going to increase your position size to get those payouts a little quicker, to maybe get multiple payouts on me? All right, I got you. And the market will change on a dime. Your position sized up a little bit higher than what you want to be. And then that $1,500 goes right back down to even. You might even go down into drawdown, into your trailing drawdown. Now, Tradeify, I have a positive ROI. With Top Step, I have a positive ROI. Those are great. So now, if I was a trader that didn't have any live accounts, which I do, and so obviously what I trade with you guys, I have I actually have 4 live accounts. I've got one with TradeStation, which I'm not going to trash TradeStation because I know one of my Signal members here loves it. But I have a live account with TradeStation. I have 2 live accounts with NinjaTrader, and I have a live account with Iron Beam. I also have one with Tasty Trade, but it's got maybe $3 in there. Haven't traded that in 5 years. So if you're someone that doesn't have a live account and you want to get funded, just make sure that you're on a positive ROI on your prop accounts that you've gone on and purchased. And then once you're to a positive ROI, I think the next realistic goal for you is to take the future payouts and start building a live account and treat it exactly like a 25K funded account. Okay, because a 25 funded account is going to give you $1,000 of drawdown. Well, if you were to fund a $1,500 live account, $1,500. Now, I know that there's some YouTubers that will say, you know, you could trade with a little as $50 or a little with $150. That's all bullshit. You know, you are going to be fighting margin requirements, constantly having it over your head. If you have enough equity to enough capital to even make your next trade, it's not worth it. At least $1,500, you'll be able to trade 2 micro contracts on the MNQ. And you know what? You could probably go to 3 contracts on the MES. They're so cheap on the margin requirements. And consider yourself to have $1,000 drawdown, max drawdown, or a max loss. Same as a 25K account. But guess what? You control the rules. There's no consistency rules in my live. If I want to let a trade run and I want to hit $1,000, which is honestly very possible, even with 2 micros, my Signal members have seen me do it. I've taken some prior day lows, some initial balance lows, and with 2 micros ran it all the way up for $500, $600, $700. Does it happen frequently? No, but when it does, it's awesome. And if you've got a cash account, you can let those things happen. You can let those things run. On a 25K funded account, you can't do that because of the consistency. That's where it's going to get you. At least on the instant. On the evals that you pass, much different, much more looser rules for sure. So that's why I'm so big on the 25Ks. That's what I'm giving away for here today. So hopefully you guys all are with me on that. All right, now let's get into what we're here for. Let's take a look at some of these setups here. I gotta delete this guy. All right. So where are we currently sitting at? Let's just kind of take a look. Let me drop down to the 15-minute. I am currently in a long bias. It's temporary. It's my pre-market read right now. Is definitely a long bias. We are making higher highs, higher lows. Very simple process just to see that we are in a current uptrend. So that's my pre-market bias right now, is an uptrend. Now, if I look at the bigger picture, are we in a overall downtrend? Yes. Okay, for sure. But you can't go too crazy on the higher time frame either on the MNQ or on the NQ, because it'll rip your face off. Okay, you really have to be very nimble with the NQ and the ES. Okay, these futures markets are very efficient, and they can switch on a flip of a dime. All it's going to take is one piece of news, one piece of headline that comes out, and your bias is flipped upside down extremely quickly. So really, it's important to be able to stay flexible with your bias, okay? And the way that I have been currently running my bias is very simple. And I think I found a really nice little sweet spot, which is the 15-minute time frame. And all I'm looking for is the last 2 swings. That's it. Okay. If I get 2 confirmed swings in either the up or down direction, that is what flips my bias. And if my bias gets flipped from longs to shorts, which could very easily happen even from now to the open at 8:30 or 9:30 for Eastern time, if the read changes to short during that time period, if I'm looking to take a long, that's now where I have a rule set where I drop my position size in half down to 2. And if I'm going with the trend that I see, I'm going with my full position size, which is 4 contracts. Okay. So very simple, easy way to see the read every single morning and throughout the actual trading day. All right, now let's get into some levels. I know a lot of talking here, but I think hopefully it was important to kind of get that squared away. We got our prior day open that is currently sitting at the 29,392, obviously serving as a good amount of resistance here in the market right now. The market has definitely not been able to push through. You can see sellers stepping in on both of these. Hey, I'll draw a nice little smiley face. You can see that the sellers right here have stepped in here, and they stepped in right there. Okay. Well, that's a bad one to draw there. Sorry about that. So we've got the prior day open here sitting at the 29,392. We've got the prior day high sitting at the 29,480. Okay. Good amount of liquidity sitting here. This is going to be an area to definitely watch here today. It always is. The extremes, prior day high, prior day low. Now, am I going to necessarily take a flip right from here? Well, if it presents itself, yeah, but I'd like to see something with a little bit more confluence. Okay. Instead of just taking a single level and trading it, unless I see something really good in the setup. And if I was going to take a short from up here, what would I be doing? Well, I'd be trading at half the position size. Okay. Now, speaking of shorts, where am I very interested in here? Sorry, I can't talk this morning. Well, same band that I gave you guys yesterday. It's the same band that we're looking at here today. This would be your A++, guys. This one's an easy one. You've got multiple pieces of confluence. Okay. You've got your weekly high sitting up here at the 29,538. You've got a volume sweep area right here. A lot of selling volume sitting right here. You have a seller weekly band sitting right here. Okay. So this is the band to watch this morning. The 29,538 to the 29,582. This is going to be your power setup for this morning. Now, buyers. Okay, well, if you guys can see, I don't really have much for buyers down here. Okay, I've got a weekly band that's sitting down there. I don't like to put my weekly bands necessarily on this chart. I use my I use this guy all the time for just to kind of stay a little bit organized here. So I've got my weekly bands set up on my TradingView chart. Okay. This is my big overall. These are my big overall bands that I'm looking at. Oh, let's talk about this setup from yesterday. I gave you guys this setup yesterday. In fact, this was the setup I gave you guys in my, this was the setup that I gave you guys in my Sunday video. Okay, so I went over this entire setup right here. This was the bands that I wanted to, that was my power setup of the week, was taking a long out of this 29,082. Now, yes, did it reject? Yes, it did. Was this a trading opportunity? No, it wasn't. because if we go and follow my exact rules that we talked about, let's go back to price action because it happened right at the open. Let's expand this so you can see. All right, so what were my rules? What were my rules that I gave you guys in that video? Very, very simple rules. And I'm using these rules in a majority of my trade setups, so you guys better start following along because it's going to help you with all of these bands and all of the levels that I give you guys. Very simple. I said the first read is on the 5-minute time frame, okay? And what we're looking for is a body closure tapping into, a 5-minute candle tapping into this band right here. And what does this first candle need to do once it taps in? It needs to close above this band. So this candle closure right here needed to close above the band. Did that happen? No, it did not happen yesterday. Okay, I was looking at it. I was also telling my signal members I wasn't thrilled with it because it was the 8:30 to 8:35 candle. And in my Sunday video that I gave you guys, I said the things you want to avoid is the pre-market 5 minutes, the post-open 5 minutes, and you want to avoid any scheduled high-impact news. So already off the bat, it was something that even though I love the band, I love the area that it was going into, I knew why it was going into that area, it needed to find unbalanced volume, but it didn't meet any of my rules. Okay, so based on the 5-minute, the first 5-minute candle of the market, that's your first clue right there. Second clue, most important clue, is we never got a candle closure above that band. Almost did, but we didn't get one. We did not get one yesterday morning. And then what killed this setup, which was my last rule that I gave you. That's why I'm saying, I think that, you know, these morning shows, it's about giving you guys setups so you guys can actually use in the trading day. I know I give you guys a lot of stuff every single morning, especially in my Discord, but I'm actually showing you guys now the validation of every single setup that I give you guys. The last condition that I said is if we sweep the bottom of this band, if we close below it, this trade's invalid as well. So there was no setup here whatsoever, okay, on that 29,082. And guys, if you're just tuning in, pop in the code word show up in this morning's chat. We'll be doing the giveaway here for a free Lucid 25K account in a few minutes. I just got to get over. Let me get over the ES, and then we'll get to the giveaway. I promise you guys. All right, current open is sitting at the 29,140, and the prior day low is sitting at the 28,946. I was able to find kind of a half-ass. I was able to find kind of a half-ass area of some unbalanced volume that was kind of sitting right here. You know, it wasn't kind of sitting right there. Let me see where. No, I'm sorry. It was sitting way more below. Let me draw this one out for you guys so you guys can see this. So this was the unbalanced volume area that I see. Very, very easy to spot. Now, if I was to give this back to the chat, and I'll let my signal members chime in because they trade with me every single day. They should already know this. This area here on the NQ from the 29,076 to the 29,030, very close to where that band, that weekly band was from yesterday. This has unbalanced volume. Easy to spot. For me, it's very easy to spot. If you guys were looking at this chart, based on following me now for the amount of time that you have, what wouldn't you like about this setup? Meaning, what wouldn't you like about taking a long from this region right here? You tell me. put it to you this way. First one in the chat, I'm going to gift you something special if you can answer me that question. Signal members, now this is off for you. You already have everything that I've got. For the YouTube chat, if you can answer for me why this unbalanced volume area here is not an area that I would be very interested in taking a long from, I promise you I'm going to give you something that you guys are going to all enjoy. Or you will enjoy. All right, so what do I got so far? Didn't touch. No, that's not it. No volume. That's not it either. Good ideas. But that's not it. Overall trend is downside. No, here the trend would be trends to the upside here. We're looking at longs anyways, so I mean, I would definitely want to take a long from here based on the current trend that you're looking at right here. Yeah, this is a long, so no. Low volume. Miss K911 got it. Miss K911 has been paying attention. I appreciate it. Miss K, I'm going to have you send me an email to TraderRob@robstrades.com. I'm going to put it into the chat right here. And then if you want Miss K911 tomorrow, you can post in the chat what I gifted you, and I think you're gonna really appreciate it. So she, Miss K was, what? Miss K, yes, she got this perfectly correct. One of my requirements, okay, for unbalanced volume, I have 3 major requirements that I am looking for. One is the impulsive move, okay. We could somewhat consider this impulsive. I would mainly call this an up move, an upwards trend to move to the upside. Okay. What's the second piece that I always say? Well, it needs to break structure. Okay. Does it break structure? Here's your first part of structure. Here's your second part of structure. It does somewhat, very half-ass. Okay, so right off the get-go, it's starting to lower its quality of this move. But the third one is no wicks coming back into our area on that move to the upside. Okay, and this chart actually, I'm glad that I gave this as an example, because this chart actually puts this into perspective perfectly. This is how I see the market, okay? This is just my opinion, my read on the markets. Whoever was coming in right here with a lot of volume, okay? Somebody came in with a lot of volume and wanted this market to continue to the upside, okay? There could be different levels of motivation, different levels of strength, different institutional power that comes in at certain levels, okay? And whoever came in, I don't know, I'm not smart enough to know who made this move or what position or what bias or what hedge somebody had to make for this market to move to the upside. I'm not smart enough for that. I don't think any of us are. But what I do know is that we had already unbalanced volume sitting here and here with sellers. So the market has to go through this for it to continue in an upwards trend, right? Well, what is occurring here is that on the initial move, which is a nice power move to the upside here on this candle right here, nice little power move. You can obviously see a nice little power move right here. You can see all of the volume that is coming in right here with all of the market bubbles, the volume bubbles coming in. Great. But when they got to selling unbalanced volume, look at all of this consolidation. Look at all of these wicks coming back down into this area. Okay. Now for me, it is that the market did not have enough fuel from the original impulsive move to break through on all of these buyers currently sitting above it. And what it needed to do was to come back, refill like a gas tank so that they had the energy and the fuel to get moving to the upside to finally break structure going up. Very simple concept to learn. It's the basis of my strategy, my ABT strategy, how I give my signals. Every single band that you look at, if you go back and look at it, you're going to see the exact same thing. It's impulsive move, break of structure, no wicks coming back into the band. Very simple process. And why is this important not to see it to make this a high value band in my opinion? Now, is every band going to always be 100% winner? No, but they're pretty damn strong. Are we going to take losers? Yes, but they're 70% winning. Okay, that's what you got to look at. And here's my theory on this, is that on the impulsive move, so if we don't see this price action, so if this price action was hidden from you, and we saw 2 or 3 more candles that look like this, breaking structure, so all I needed to do is to break at least structure and close above it with these impulsive moves, then this is all unbalanced, this is all untapped. When I keep saying unbalanced volume, this is what I'm referring to every single time, okay, is that piece of key unbalanced volume. It's a virgin level, okay, has not been tapped into whatsoever. Those are going to be your strongest reversal areas, and not necessarily reversal areas. These can also act as continuation areas, because what the market's going to do is eventually it'll come back down, tap into all of that liquidity pool that we were looking at to continue and fuel the move to the upside. I just don't want to be looking at this level once they've already removed the fuel from there. It's an empty gas station. Okay. All right, let's jump into the ES really quickly. This morning we tapped into this band that I gave you guys. It was a setup that I had from yesterday. And we almost got the exact setup that I was looking for, but this is pretty damn close to what exactly that I was been teaching you guys on what to look for. You could drop down on the ES to the 5-minute level here, and what do we get? We get a 5-minute candle closure tapping into that band, clearly rejecting it. We know that the buyers were activated here. This is what I was anticipating, was buyers sitting at this level at the 76.95 to the 76.89. You can go back to your chart from yesterday or back to the live stream. This is exactly the setup that I was explaining to you guys. All you'd have to do then is just wait for the 1-minute candle closure above this 5-minute level, and you're going long from that area. Would have been a really nice trade on this setup here. Let's just go over the quick levels and I'll do my giveaway, I promise. Prior day open sitting at the 76.93. We've already swept that down here already, so not as strong of a level for me. Prior day high has been pretty much violated the entire morning, so that's at the 77.03. Not currently something that I'm looking for very strongly here. But we do have sellers sitting right here at the 77.20 to the 77.13. 7-point band here, okay? So look at your position sizing. Okay, can you afford a 5 to 7 point stop loss? If your answer is no, then size down so that your answer is eventually a yes. Very simple. And if you go to the lowest contract size on the MES, which is $5 a point, if for whatever reason any account that you're trading doesn't have the drawdown for $35 or $45, then this is not the setup you're looking for. Okay, but if your portfolio or your funded can afford you that type of drawdown, then you can then go from 1 micro to 2 micros to 3 micros. Shit, you might even be on an E-mini. Okay, this is going to be a great level. Very simple here, guys. Same thing. You're going to drop to the 5-minute time frame. Now there's no guesswork. There's no guesswork if the setup's going to work, if it's not going to work. You know, it's very simple rules. You're going to wait for a 5-minute candle to close to pierce into this band. The body of that candle has to close below this band. Then this is on the 5 minute. You're then going to switch to the 1 minute. And all I need you to do is to wait for your 1 minute candle to close below the bottom of the 5 minute candle. That's your signal to go long. Stop loss is going to be sitting here. You can go 1 to 1, 1 to 1.5, depending if you're trading evals or funded. Okay, that's your setup here on the ES. Done deal. We've got the ES and the NQ mapped out. Now let's get to the giveaway. All right, give me 1 second. Let me get this ready for you guys. Last chance. Code is show up for this morning. All right, last chance for two things. I'm going to give you guys 20 seconds here to pop in the code show up. And I'm going to give you guys 20 seconds. If you haven't already done so, 17 people have already hit the like button. I appreciate you guys tremendously. For those of you that have entered into the giveaway or that found any value in any of the setups or any of the funding advice that, well, not advice, but funding tips that I gave you guys, please hit the like button. It takes 2 seconds. If you're on your mobile phone, you're on your desktop, you're on your TV, it just takes 1 second, guys, and it does help out a lot the channel. It is a huge help to me, and I really truly do appreciate it. So with that said, now let's get it over. Let's get this. I load the comments in. Now let's get the timer up here. So what you're gonna do is, if your name gets picked, you're going to have 2 minutes to type in the word thanks into the chat. And I will then give you instructions on how to get your free Lucid code. I will send it to you. Here we go. So I got 21 people watching. I believe there's a little bit more than that in the actual giveaway. So let's see what happens here. Oh, sorry. Got to do this 1 more second. Sorry. Let me give this a label. This is a 25K Lucid Pro. I got one more Lucid left. I'll do that one next week. It's a flex account. Today's going to be a Pro. And then I will ask, once I go through my last one, I will ask Lucid to see if I can get a new fresh batch. Don't forget, on Friday, I am running Cash Profit Friday again, so that's 25% of my session profits. Exclude duplicates. It's going to be show up. Confirm. All right, now we're ready. Too excited here. All right, here we go. Good luck, everybody, and last thing I ask, one more time, I'm going to say two things. I feel like I get a few seconds of a plug here. One, if you are going to be using either Lucid, Apex, or Tradeify, you could always use code TraderRob. I do appreciate that so much. If you do want to continue trading with me live every single morning, you could always go to my website, which is robstrades.com. Those options are there. If you don't want to, that's perfectly fine as well. I'll see you guys on Friday for the full live trading session. Here we go. Good luck, everybody. Okay, macro moves. We got a new winner here today. So macro moves, here are the instructions. Very simple. You've got 2 minutes. The minutes started right now. All you've got to do is type in the word thanks into the chat within those 2 minutes, and you've got yourself a 25K Pro Lucid account. 2 minutes. And if he does, if it's not answered, we got it. Micro moves, beautiful. Thank you for making my job easy. I appreciate that. Got to remember the first time I ran a giveaway, maybe the first 2 times, really didn't have that many people on the chat. I remember I was going to 3 or 4 different cycles, and it was a real pain in the ass. So I appreciate that, micro moves. All right, here we go, Micro. Just stay with me here for 1 second. Send me an email to TraderRob. Yeah. All right, there you go, micro moves. Just send me an email to TraderRob@robstrades.com. Another question thing, guys, I've got a few different areas that you guys can go to ask me questions. If you guys, you know, might not say, and I do appreciate this part of it. You know, sometimes on chat, especially on like Fridays when I'm doing my live trading session, you know, some people are like, well, I don't want to bother Rob with a question on maybe his strategy or what he just kind of went over. So if you ever need a question answered, you can either send me an email to that same email that I just gave you guys in the chat, which is TraderRob@robstrades.com, or another option that I just started, that I think is a really good option because it's going to make me easier for me. And stick around here with me, guys, for just one more second. If you guys go to my Discord, there's a link in the... Actually, there's not even a link anymore on my YouTube. I changed everything around. Just go to my website, robstrades.com. There's a link in there to my Discord. So it's just one place to go now for everything. If you're already on my Discord, there's a new channel here that's called Ask Questions, okay? You can pop yourself a new post, ask me a question on my setup. I just started this channel here, and what I'd like to use this for is, one, it gives me content to go over on these live streams every morning. So if a question gets asked for me through email or on Discord, I will promise you that I will answer it the next day in this, you know, morning show. And if it's a question that gets enough likes that maybe enough people are interested in that, then I'll create a video explaining that specific setup or that specific strategy that I can use. And it's going to help me because it just gives me content that I know you guys want, instead of me just kind of recycling stuff. I try to be as efficient as possible there. So that's all I got for you guys here today. Hope you guys got some value out of the stream today. If you did, hit the like, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. I will see you guys tomorrow. We got a lot of stuff on the economic calendar, guys. Okay. We've got, obviously, the Jackson Hole Symposium that's going to be coming out on Thursday, Friday. Friday's going to be a big day with the Fed chair. He's going to be doing his keynote. You definitely going to be wanting to have your news service open during that time. Tomorrow we've got PCE numbers, consumer spending, U.S. durable goods. We got GDP numbers. So a really busy morning at 7:30. We'll be watching that price action here together. Thursday we've got U.S. initial jobless claims. So a busy week in news, and hopefully price action reflects it. Take care, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow.